Good morning, everyone. We're here in the cow spa. Nala's getting her brush on this morning. Every once in a while lately, she gets in a bit of a mood and is kind of like throwing her head around, and not to be mean or anything, but she has these huge horns. I think we've talked about that before. It's like, okay, well, we can't brush you when you're throwing your head around acting crazy. But she gets excited and then she moves her head, and it's like if she's too excited, then it's like, okay, we're done. Okay, so I called this one Goats with Drones because Elliot was just out flying his drone overhead trying to get some fun pictures and stuff. A few of our friends were just a little too spooked. We had somebody try to fly a drone here before in the past, and we had to stop because the animals were getting way too scared. They were like running and crying. It was just too much for them. Whereas today, like, they got a little spooked at first, but then they started to come out. They're kind of just like, hey, what's this? And so maybe Elliot will get to practice some more with that with them, and then get some fun, interesting videos and pictures we can show you guys. Other than that, we haven't had a lot going on this morning. Everyone's kind of chilling now. The cows are out eating the leftover hay crumbs. Everyone was really hungry this morning. We wound up feeding a little bit extra. Right, Norma? You were starved. You had to keep mooing for more food. We usually have a set amount of crates of hay that we feed everyone, but sometimes, the hay can have variations in it. It might be like really dry and brittle. Other times it might be like really thick and dense. And on those days, it fills them up more. And today, I guess the hay was just maybe a little bit thinner, or everyone's just hungry because we've been having some colder nights. And we wound up feeding like 8 crates. They weren't packed, but that's usually we only do 6 or 7. So we knew they were hungry. Everybody, including the turkeys, although the turkeys keep hopping over to this side of the yard, and they really need to be on the other side because that's where their food is. As you know, if you've tuned in before, we talked about, see ya, have a good one, tell the girls hi. We can't feed them over here because all the goats and pigs, everybody will try to eat the bird feed, and it's not good for them. So we are done with the drone for now. Maybe next week, if we decide to try it again, maybe we'll try to get some of that on the live stream. Maybe it was mostly like these two, Chicklet and Peanut. They were like the most scared. Like they ran under here, and even though we stopped, they're like, oh, I think we're just going to chill here. But everyone else was fine. Like I said, they were like a little spooked, like, hey, what's going on? But it was definitely better than in the past when they got really scared, because we don't want to obviously scare everybody. So the turkeys were kind of fluttering their feathers a little bit, like, what is that? What kind of a bird is it? And I didn't know this because I haven't really been around drones that often, but Elliot flies them for work, and he was saying that a lot of the time when he's flying up in the sky, birds will actually come and like hover right by it, kind of like, hey, what species are you? What are you doing in my airspace? So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe that was why the turkeys were getting a little more excited, like, oh, what kind of bird is this? Hi, Butters. Oh, there it is. Okay, Frankie keeps losing his collar. Yesterday his collar was off. I think it might just be too loose. We're gonna have to adjust it. Frankie is our goat that has to get clipped onto the fence periodically to get a little bath, to get washed up. And so we have his collar nice and loose, but I think it's just getting too loose because, like I said, yesterday morning he had no collar, so we had to find it and get it back on him. And this morning he had no collar again, so I think it just needs an adjustment. So I'll set that here for now. Nala's still cleaning up. Like I said, this is just going to be kind of a little quick live stream, just saying hi to everybody. That's usually what we do on Sunday mornings. If you're new here, on Sundays, we do a little check-in with everybody. Say good morning. This is Merman. Hi, Merman. Hi, buddy. He's ready for his close-up. We can just say hi, talk about any updates that might have occurred over the week. And as we also like to say, no news is good news, and we don't have a lot going on, then that usually means everyone is happy, healthy, content, and things are going well. If you're just tuning in, welcome. I'm Courtney. I'm here at Goats with Horns Animal Sanctuary and Real-Time Rescue. We just had our other volunteer kind of doing a little flyover with the drone to see if he could get some interesting pictures and shots of everybody. And oh, hello. Okay. My man is definitely ready for his close-up. And we maybe next week we'll get to actually kind of capture that on the live stream to see how they do, because some of them were a little spooked. We don't want them to be super fearful, but it's normal, for them to be like a little apprehensive, like, oh, what's that? And that's okay. We just, like I said, in the past, when we had a drone flying over the goats were like kind of like, bah, bah, like kind of crying and like really upset by it. So we, turned that off right away. We had someone land it and everything. So we'll see how these guys do. They seemed a little less scared than some of the animals that we've had here in the past. They were kind of just like, okay, let's come over here by the goat playground and hang out together. And Princess Buttercup was like, oh, this is fun. I want to come over to Elliot and say hi while he's flying a drone. And the cows were totally unbothered. And Gilbert was kind of looking at us like, what's going on? So they might get a few more exciting things going on with the drone. But otherwise, like I said, not a whole lot. Everybody's been healthy and happy, having a good New Year so far. I think I'm going to head on out. So I'm going to release the last Kraken. We usually when I do a live stream, the cows are usually put in their eating stalls. And of course, Rapunzel is in her eating stall. But they don't live in the stalls. The only ones that live in stalls are ducks. But everyone else just kind of, we have to do lots of separating for feeding time. So that's why usually when we do a live stream, everyone's kind of like in their spot. So now everyone's out. There's Rapunzel. And I'm going to take this collar back with me so I can make it a little tighter. And then they can get that back on Frankie tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and lock the chain up here too. Actually, I might do that in a minute because I need 2 hands for that. So let's go ahead and take this back. We'll do a little walkthrough over on the birds and then jump off. As always, if you guys have any ideas about live streams, things you might want to see, or you have any questions about any of our residents or something about our sanctuary here, feel free to leave us a comment down below. We've been here over 11 years now. This is an animal sanctuary. You can read a little bit about us from our description box. You'll find the links to our social media. So in case you're interested in hearing more, seeing more from us, that's a good way of going about that. Let's take these brushes back over here. So these were those crates of hay I was talking about. We use these old crates to just pack them full of hay and then carry them back. And like I said, oh, good morning, Karen. It looks like Karen is online. So I was just talking about that this morning we had to go through 8 crates of hay. They weren't packed super full, but still that's more than we usually do. And I was mentioning that the hay kind of has some variation to it. It's like right now you can kind of see like the hay looks pretty healthy. It's green. It's not too crumbly. Every once in a while we'll get hay that's kind of like yellow, just maybe a little bit more dried out, just not as dense. And on those are also days when usually we have to, feed extra hay because it seems like it's not quite enough for them. And of course, they would probably tell you that we never feed them enough, just like Mr. Houdini over here, one of our feral cats who's a little more docile than feral, but still is one of our ferals. He split a can of cat food this morning with Bunny, one of the other ferals that lives in here. Oh, but look at how starving he must be. Look, even though he's sitting next to a bowl of kibble, they're just starved. He can't believe that we made them share a can of food. Yeah, you're so cute, Houdini. You're so cute. Yeah, they know how to pull on our heartstrings and do some begging. Especially him. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. And like I said, be on the lookout for some footage or pictures from the drone, and we'll kind of monitor and see if their animals are going to be comfortable enough for us to fly that more often. And when I say us, I mean Elliot. Elliot is the owner of the drone, and he's used them before, so he's the most qualified and comfortable to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and let Pi Pi and Stan out, the last animals that need to get released, the hen and the rooster back here. I hope you guys all have a great week, and we will talk to you later.